Imagine you're climbing up a tower that nearly pierces through the heavens while being chased by the deified version of your barkeeper, Thomas Mutton, whose face now appears to be made out of dead sheep. Then, you kill him, opening the door. You then travel to the past to be with the girl you love. Okay, now, let's rewind a little bit. Let's say, about a week? Hello there, looks like it's that time again. Time to review a game. Been a while since I made one of these. Well, looks like I live another day, and time to play Catherine Full Body. It's Catherine time. One of the first things I'd like to mention before we get into the thick of it is that this game is believed to be an engine test. While Persona 5 was in development, they made/replaced their cutscene engine. It's believed that Catherine was either proposed or greenlit so that they could test out their new engine. And they made good use of it too. The characters are quite expressive and lively. A lot of the in-engine cutscenes have far more fluid motion than even the best that Persona 3 and 4 would have had. Also, only Angry Dad Gaming has subscribed to the channel and hit the bell, so please do those things. I bet you weren't expecting me to call you out by name, Angry Dad Gaming, were you? I see you! I see all of you! The story starts, surprise, not with Vincent, but with an intro to the fictional TV network, The Golden Playhouse. Then Trisha, the host for The Golden Playhouse, introduces the Golden Playhouse special, Catherine Full Body. I find this a rather interesting choice, as it frames the rest of the narrative as fictional even in universe. This isn't real, it's just a Showtime drama. This is further proven by the fact that the Golden Playhouse logo is always on screen, reminding you that this is a TV special. But anyways, our story follows Vincent, a 32-year-old down on his luck engineer, according to the wiki. He's been dating his girlfriend Catherine for almost 5 years now, and she wants to get married. However, tragedy strikes when Vincent unwittingly cheats on her with another girl, who is also named Catherine. For the sake of the video, I'm going to be calling them K-Atherine and C-Atherine. Vincent must make a final decision about what kind of adult he wants to be, whether to choose a stable domestic life or the wild thrills of flirting and sex. All the while, he is tormented by deadly nightmares, forcing him to decide already. The game here on out is fractured into two main parts. The daytime, where you talk with people, text back and forth, and the nighttime, where you climb to escape death. Let's discuss each of them individually. During the daytime segments, you hang out at the Stray Sheep, a bar where you and your mates hang out. You can vibe, play an arcade game, and you can drink your sorrows away. This makes you faster or something. You can talk with people about their lives, what they think of marriage, what's going on in their personal lives. You can even discuss the rumored woman's wrath. They claim that men who cheat are cursed with deadly nightmares, especially worrying to our poor protagonist Vincent, who has gotten caught in an affair of his own. That, and the rumor has been spreading recently after your old buddy Paul died mysteriously in his sleep. I'm sure it's just a rumor though. You can also text your partners on the phone. What you say will affect Vincent's moral character. And texting certain things at certain times may be a requirement for some endings, but I'll elaborate on that later. They can also call you, and you can ignore them. Or pick them up, I guess. In addition, if you pay $8? You can buy the horn-rimmed glasses, which allow you to see through the first layer of clothing people are wearing. And I mean all people. Apparently Johnny wears a sumo getup sort of thing? Funny though it may be, to see the cutscenes and such without anyone wearing clothes, I cannot fathom actually paying $8 for this. I don't think anyone who has good enough taste to play good games like Catherine would be enough of a gooner to get $8 worth of value out of the glasses. The footage you're seeing, by the way, isn't mine. It's from a channel called Naughty Gaming. I love having to shout out a channel that's also on Hub. I feel like this may be used against me in the future, so I'm gonna have to make my stance clear on the matter. I have no issue with moderate sexuality on YouTube, as long as it follows terms of service. I think it should be allowed to stay. Nothing that follows YouTube terms of service should be harmful enough to require extra protections. I also have no issue with using or making stuff for Pornhub. Have fun, stay safe. What I have an issue with is that the same brand, the same channel, is on both an all ages platform. As much as I hate to admit it, children do watch just about any and everything on YouTube, and a pornographic account. I don't think this is much different from the issues most of us have with the new Twitch meta, which is half meme, half genuine issue on Twitch. Anyways, there are a wide variety of patrons of whom you can talk to. The first example would be your main buddies, Johnny, Orlando, and Toby. Toby is kind of the baby of the group. He works under Johnny, and he has the hots for Erica, the waitress at this stray sheet. Orlando is a bit of a player. He has a very love 'em and leave 'em type attitude, yet he feels betrayed by the woman he's divorcing. Orlando also has a lot of failed businesses. Johnny is the sort of cool, calm, badass one. He cares a lot about Catherine, going as far as to punch you if you decide to go down the Rin route. And looks like we've got to talk about Rin now. Okay. Rin, or Catherine, is a character exclusive to Catherine Full Body. She is a new girl you can pursue in Catherine Full Body. She's an amnesiac who Vincent helps escape a stalker or someone at the beginning of the game. So, by the way, you should probably skip the next 10 to 20 seconds if you want to avoid getting spoilered, because I'm gonna drop a big reveal. So, Rin is actually both a guy, that's not me misgendering him. Yes, this is an Astolfo situation, code femboy, blah blah blah. And also an angel, and angels are actually aliens. If you have shattered the morality scale enough times by being open-minded in confessionals and such, you can go down Rin's path, where you choose to open your mind and be with him, despite that being kinda gay, bro. You then face Thomas Mutton at the top of the tower and destroy homophobia forever. Then her brother appears and says he'll destroy the Earth because Rin shouldn't be a human. This made me completely drop the game for a while. I bought this game on September 13th, 2023, and I beat it for the first time in late April 2024. Sorry about the unusual phrasing, just trying to make it age better. But you know what? When I finally beat the game and got that ending, I liked it. I mean, it felt oddly tonally inconsistent with the rest of the game, but hey, what can you expect from a Showtime drama, especially from the Golden Playhouse? I mean, it's a miracle they didn't stretch it out a whole other season.
We are going back to the topic of the patrons at the Stray Sheep. I didn't make a proper segue because I am dumb and bad at making videos, sorry.
Aside from Rin and your friends, you can talk to a lot of people. You can even save a few lives doing so. To list a few of the people you can talk to, there's Lindsay and Martha. They, speak in tongues or something? I don't really know. There's Justin, a journalist. I don't know much about him, I didn't say it him. Todd, a guy who was either essentially or literally abandoned by his father, and throughout his arc, he realizes that he's been unwittingly behaving like his father. There's also Archie, who... Jeebus crikey! That's really bad! He was kept in a basement and was serial raped by his mother until he eventually escaped. He made his money by manipulating women into being with him, then leaving them. Through his arc, he learns that he actually does desire affection and learns to do and be better. There's Morgan, a cop who feels responsible for his wife's death and seeks to murder-suicide his wife's killer. If you save him, he decides to not do that. In Full Body, they also added 2 new characters to save. Abul, a foreign oil baron who pushed people away since he felt people would use it for money if they ever knew his wealth. And there's Roderick, a chef/indie musician who felt betrayed by his friends and left music because of it. And let me check my notes here. Yep, that's all for the daytime. Time to go to bed. Wait, why am I experiencing nightmares? What did I do? At the end of each day, when there's no one left to talk to, or you just want to go home for whatever reason, though I don't recommend doing that most of the time, you will be sent to the nightmares. The nightmares are the main action of the game, where the game gets the puzzle platformer and horror tags on Steam. In a way, they can be seen as reminiscent of Persona 4's Dungeon or some of the Silent Hill games. You are a sheep. One of many, and like sheep, you must run. Run all the way to the top. There are 3 floors per nightmare, and once you reach the final floor, you must escape a twisted simulacrum of whatever is currently terrifying Vincent and his relationship. The monsters chasing Vincent come in all varieties, from a flattering depiction of Catherine, to a cyber baby, to an even more flattering facsimile of C. Athrun. There's even a coochie monster. Before these, however, are the regular floors, where you climb a tower of blocks while the lower blocks crumble and fall. You need to make it to the top in time, or you won't see tomorrow morning. In between each of the floors, just like during the daytime, you can talk to the other sheep. You can hear their problems, their hang-ups. You're able to get to the heart of people's issues much more than when you talk during the day. At the expense of only getting around 1 to 2 lines of dialogue per floor, talking to the sheep regularly brings out an emotional core that the game wouldn't really explore otherwise. Seeing the sheep grow beyond their traumas, changing their lives for the better, all because you were willing to give a lending ear and some kind words. It's pretty impactful. When you go up a floor, you must enter a confessional where they ask you questions to check your worth as a person. These can range from your thoughts on marriage, to whether you'd rather kiss a hot dead person or an alive weird alien. Though some may not be as strange as that one, they are all kinda probing. Are you interested in deviant sexual activities? Of course not. The escapes themselves are kind of deceptively complex. At the beginning, it's simple pushing, pulling, and climbing, but then the most important part enters the equation. Let me tell you, I love edging. Okay, wait. Let me explain. When pushing and pulling blocks, a block will hover in mid-air as long as it's adjacent to a block below it. A sound effect saying will also play every time a connection is made. This is pivotal for making staircases, constructing bridges. You can even climb infinitely with the right technique. If the edge mechanic, which is what I'm going to be calling it from now on, wasn't in the game, then I don't think the nightmare sequences would work at all. The edge mechanic is probably the defining feature that makes Catherine a good game. If it didn't work, half of the game would be monotonous, repetitive puzzles, likely with only one real solution, and then that'd be annoying enough to sour the rest of the experience. I've seen some Let's Plays and such where the player really struggles to get far. To me, that seems kinda silly. The game isn't that hard. Even the endgame levels are only a bit harder than a moderate challenge. But hey, not all of us can be gods of the digital and physical realms. You can find and use a variety of power-ups throughout the levels. You got your stone block, which makes a bunch of blocks form at your feet, a Bible, which looks nothing like an actual Bible. Why'd they do this? Anyways, the Bible kills all enemies. You've got the unknown drinks, which make you jump real high. On further research of having learned beforehand, it's a sports drink. You've even got the bells! Oh, and by the way, There are pillows, which give you additional undos. All of these items can be pretty beneficial to the completion of a level. My favorite is the block. Okay, so I think that's about all for the day and nighttime sections of the game. What's next? I don't know. Well, I have to climb to the top first so I can wake up, obviously. Alright, Thomas, I'm at the top. Once I open this door, you're through. Why'd you even make me do this? I'm single, and 16!
Even biologically, and this is me just stating, I'm just, right now I'm going to start by just stating facts. So fact number 1, I violate my kids. It's not a new phenomenon. Fact number 2, but what happened recently, and this is the fact number 2. So what I'm saying is that the problem is not per se teenage pregnancy. Recently, in the last 30 years or so, we decided that that's way too young to start a family. Why? We live in the age of extended adolescence. It's unwed pregnancy. That's the problem in society. It's only problematic when you are not married. Fact 3, girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile.
Yeah.
Okay? That's biological. That's a fact, all right? I'm just stating facts. That's all I'm doing. The 4th fact.
By you not using the moment in your life of maximum fertility to create white babies and secure the existence of our people in a future for white children to keep them safe from the blacks and the Jews, you have committed a grievous sin. And that's the reason that you have been sent here.
Well, looks like I've talked about both main parts of the game. I guess that would mean I need to talk about the storyline of the game, which honestly is going to be pretty hard since most of the stuff outside of what it says on the tin feels almost like spoiler territory, and I don't like needlessly spoiling games, at least not anything that would inhibit your experience to know. I guess I'll have to see what I can do. You play as Vincent, a 32-year-old who ends up facing danger and nightmares after he cheats on his wife for a younger woman. One thing I should note, he gets his first nightmare before he cheats on Catherine. That's right, when being confronted on this, the demon in charge of all of this, Thomas Mutton, he states that it was the desire that he held before the nightmares that caused the nightmares. His dissatisfaction was what really damned him. A lot of the story within the game comes from things outside of the main story, because most of the game is just day-to-day life, eating with friends, discussing the latest dramas and such. There's not as much of a beat-by-beat narrative as there is in, say, The World Ends With You. The game tied for my favorite game of all time. Not insulting Catherine, just reminding you that I'm a big fan of Tuui. In The World Ends With You, there are a lot of solid plot elements. Let's start. Neku wakes up in the underground, unaware of his history, where he is and what he's supposed to be doing. Neku partners up with Shiki, a stylish girl who seems urgent for whatever reason. Neku begrudgingly follows along until a Reaper, Izuku Yoshiro, confronts them and gives Neku a deal: kill Shiki and he'll earn his freedom. Neku ends up going through with it, but fortunately, due to the rules of the underground, he wakes up tomorrow in a concert hall, thinking he succeeded. Racked with guilt, he walks out of the dark hall and finds Shiki alive, and then it turns out that a guy named Hanakoma saved them. And, by the way, all of that is within less than 2 hours of starting the game. In contrast, within Catherine, the main story beats can be summarized very quickly. Vincent cheats on his longtime girlfriend Catherine with a younger woman, Catherine, around the time he was inflicted with horrible nightmares that pose a threat to his life, as others have been dying mysteriously in their sleep. In order to escape the nightmares and fix his relationship issues, he needs to make up his mind, take responsibility, and climb the top of the tower. Catherine also fakes pregnancy in order to pressure Vincent into marriage. C. Catherine also shows herself to be cray-cray.
Girl, why you acting so cray-cray?
Why you acting so cray-cray? We'll be back in a moment.
There's also someone he meets named Rin, who is very open-minded and confesses his love for Vincent. Depending on the choices you make will determine Vincent's outlook, therefore affecting his inner monologue and cutscenes, but not what he says, and who he ends up with in the end. That's kind of the plot of the whole game, excluding unnecessary / aesthetic details such as the cake and the ants that flood it, and excluding the extra content to the story, such as the overarching plots that follow the sheep, and the discussions you have with people at the stray sheep. The first hour and a half of The World Ends With You took me about 129 words to describe. The entire plot of Catherine Full Body, excluding the specifics of the routes and optional content, took me about 149 words. If we were to say that the amount of major story beats could be considered a sort of calorie count for game storylines and other media's storylines, then that would mean that the first hour and a half of The World Ends With You, a 30th of the whole game, took me about 33 hours to beat the game, is just as calorically dense as the entire base plot of Catherine Full Body. Crikey, that's an insane margin. Now, you're probably thinking, what's the point in all this? So what if Catherine isn't as calorically dense as other games? What's your aim? And what I'd have to say, my goal is simply to say, you should play Catherine Full Body. That, and also, I don't really like doing plot summaries, so I'd much rather skip it. No Wikipedia plot synopsis or Wikipedia article on each character or Let's Play can truly get to the heart of what makes Catherine so great. And that's the extra content, the stuff you need to go out of your way to experience. I honestly wouldn't blame someone for having a negative impression of the game if they didn't talk to the sheep on each floor, didn't talk to everyone they can at the stray sheep, because, in my opinion, they weren't playing the whole game. So, yeah, go play Catherine. Like, I don't know, probably 8 out of 10, I guess would be my ranking. It's a story of love, a story of pleasure, a story of devotion, a story of irrepentance, a story of remorse, a story of whatever you can make it / get out of it. And that's about all I have to say on the topic. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe if you did, and also hit the bell, so that way you'll know when I upload. I don't upload very consistently, so unless you're like a super fan of my content or whatever, you're probably not gonna see my videos that much in your recommended. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.